Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Salt City Racing Live Update. Evening, Nick.
What's going on, Phil?
Well, Kyler stood us up. That's what happened.
Yeah, they're having a little open house at one of the schools out there in Dodge City. They got a bunch of race cars out there on display, and
All right, as long as
doing all
someone's
kinds of
racing,
fun
I'll give him a little.
stuff,
I'll give him a break.
we'll give him a pass.
All right, so up on the screen is our great sponsors to kick things off. So everybody, thanks for tuning in this evening. We'll get you some more updates and stuff like that too. Evening, Dallas. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good morning. Good evening, Tom. From that part, got a lot of things to talk about and stuff too. So, want to get the chat line going first. Jeremy, good evening. There was we put the post out there. We was going live at 6 o'clock tonight, and there's some chat start coming up about 2025, which is we're going to talk about again just this evening. But also talking about shortening the track, pros and cons, and all that kind of stuff. I had some good chat stuff going on there today. I love it. Love everybody chiming in and talking about that. So if you want to jump on the chat line and give your thoughts on the half mile, the 3/8, I'm going to give you mine here shortly. I'm sure Nick's got one too, but we can talk about that too. So get the chat line moving. Let's talk about it. You want to see it stay a half mile? You want to see it go 3/8? And I know there's pros and cons both ways. There's stuff on all sides of that side of the coin from that part. And of course, 2025, we are got dates that we are 99% set on dates for that part. We are 99% done with the contract to submit from that part. So exciting stuff here for 2025 moving forward. I hope it's an easy way this time of getting this approved for the Fair Board, and it's an easy contract approval, and away we go. Or if we have to make a few adjustments, I hope not, but I hope we can take this contract and we can move forward for 2025 in years to come and everything else too. So still working with a couple sanctioning bodies that have talked to us last week. Would love to tell you what we got there, but I guess, we got to put ourselves on the screen, huh, Nick?
Yeah.
About that.
Hey, there we are.
There we are. So anyway, we've got some other sanction bodies that have called us and asked to they want to run with us in 2025. I will tell you that, of course, just to prove the Silver Crown cars are booked. It's going to be the weekend before. They're going to be July 11th and 12th is what we got the Silver Crown cars booked for from that part. Dallas Bishop says keep the half mile. So what else does everybody having to say? What's going on there from that part too? Half mile, 3/8. What are you thinking? What's your thoughts? And there's no right or wrong answer. Everybody just want to hear your thoughts, everything else too. What you think we ought to do with the racetrack. I have my opinion. Nick's got his up in that part. So again, the dates are almost set, but again, we've got to work with about 3 more sanctioned bodies that have called us and want to come race, and exciting for that size part of the coin. Just ready to go. We were over there earlier this week to make some adjustments for the Kansas State Fair while the fair is going on and stuff too. So Dylan Chambers, half miles, what makes Hutch is what it is. I can't agree with you more on that, Dylan, from that part. Aaron Rail, I'll be there either way. I get it, Aaron. Appreciate you racing with us. All you guys, Dylan and Aaron, have been there every night, I believe, with us. So thank you for that. Banquet time. We're going to be very close to having a banquet in November. We're going to do it in the, 1891 Club?
Something like that, yeah.
1861 Club there on the fairgrounds.
Brand new place, too.
Yeah, so we have a partnership with those guys already. So it's going to be fun and exciting there. So stay tuned for the banquet sometime in November. Got some ideas what we're going to do there. I think it'll be a different banquet than what you've seen. So just excited for the banquet coming up in November. Well, we got some dates. We just got to get them ironed out with I believe it's 1891. I shouldn't say that, but I think that's right. 1891 Club. It's the year. What it is, it's the year that Kansas became a state. Yep. I'm going to Google that real quick and make sure I'm saying that right. 1891, maybe it's 1861. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's in my text.
I know it's 18. How about that?
Yeah.
So stay tuned for the banquet. We'll have some exciting stuff there too. Keep the half mile. So many drivers love racing on it. That's the track. It's what part of Hutchinson on the map. Cindy, I agree with you.
1861.
1861. That's close. Ashley says half mile. Dallas Bishop. I'll be there either way as long as the track open and there's racing. Well, I appreciate that too. Yes, Dylan, we finally figured that out. And Tom, yes, 1861. So we'll be at the 1861 Club. Been talking with those guys that have that club there and already, like I said, going to have some dates put in November from that part. So we'll get that put together. Nick, so we're still throwing off the half mile, the 18 or the 3/8 mile. And here's what I'm going to, I'll keep the comments coming. It's okay. But here's my deal. If we switch it to 3/8, Silver Crown will not come. They only race on half mile or bigger tracks. So we have to weigh those odds there a minute. I get all the local racers, all that kind of stuff too. But I tell you, I've had a lot of local racers come up to me and say, you know what? They love the half mile, which you're already seeing there too. Everybody talks about the half miles hard on equipment. I think it's how you gear your car and what you do with your car to make it happen. Patrick Kidd says, keep it a half mile. but we'll come regardless. I appreciate that, Patrick. But yeah, I want to keep it a half mile because I would love those Silver Crown cars. We got a couple other classes that we're talking to that won't come if it's 3/8.
Yeah.
So we got pros and cons all the way, and I get all that stuff too. So Rick Armour says half mile. What's Rob Gertz got to say there, Nick? You might read it.
Rob says was finally able to personally thank David Cox at Bradbury today for company sponsorship of the track. I can tell you he's pumped. Just wanted to tell him thanks. And we ended up talking over 10 minutes. Cool guy. Yeah, he's cool.
David Cox and I have been good buddies for a long time. We lived together right there in Hutchinson. Stuff too. Just talked to David this afternoon too. So appreciate that. Ricky Bonham, keep it half mile. Other than place around there, it's 3/8 and similar to each other's cookie cutter. In my opinion, I get it. Leave it a half mile. Ricky, I get with you. I saw your comments on Facebook today and stuff too. I get you're going to probably get to run one time in 2025, but if we pull a few other things together for 2024, but if we pull some things together, these other sanction bodies, you'll have more than opportunities than just one time to run from that part. Fred Freeman, I'm there either way, right?
Yeah.
So, again, I wish we could talk about these other sanction bodies we're talking to. It's just a little bit early in the year yet to lock in some dates with them from that part. So it is going to be fun and exciting. But again, we have submitted some dates to the Fair Board. We went back, I shouldn't say Fair Board, to the GM, and we went back 3 times now with dates, altering dates and different things like that too. And I've asked for a little lenience with these other sanctioned bodies come on because they're just like the Silver Crown stuff too. So,
yep.
And just so, and I guess we can give another to you. This is really true. We are working on another division from USAC to come and race.
Yep.
Can't tell you what yet, but it is in the works and it is in talks of what we can kind of go.
I mean, we have one of them and there's only 2 left. So you got a 50-50 chance, I guess. But,
yeah. What did Ricky Bonham have to say there, Nick?
He said, my modified will be there if they're racing an Outlaw A mod and super stocks. We would make it doesn't affect the A mod schedule.
I get it, Ricky. And we are going to, let's talk about the A mod. I shouldn't say A mod. It's the Outlaw race. We're going to have October the 5th. Yep. We've kind of threw some rules out there and stuff. And then again, Mike Van Genderen, who's done many races all over the country and doing all kinds of tracks and stuff, came back to me and Nick and heard what we were doing. And he does the same thing on a half-mile track up
there in Iowa somewhere.
Somewhere in Iowa. I don't know exactly where it is or whatever. He sent us his rules. Not sure I want to throw that out there yet because we already kind of threw what we want to go do for that Outlaw race. So, Ricky, we are going to have you there on October the 5th.
Yep.
And we'll put it in writing when we're ready to go. But right now it's 2450 weight, 5-inch spoiler, any carbureted motor, steel block, aluminum head, 39-inch deck height after the race, 8-inch rim, 8-inch tire.
Yep.
And that's about all we're going to spec, tech, do whatever you want to go do, whatever you want to run from that part standpoint too. So, Rex, what's going to Saturday? What about going to Saturday night? Well, we've been working on some of that too. We're trying to work again. Chuck and I at Salina have had some discussions. We put some dates out there, and him and I've had some more discussions and stuff. We're going to work on some different things for that too, because I do want to work with Chuck. I do want to make sure that we're working together with Chuck and everything else like too. I really like what Chuck's done at Salina and what he's doing up there to keep another racetrack alive, and just want to help keep things on the right side there too. So we're working on some Saturday nights, but I will tell you the fair has kicked a couple of our Saturday nights that we put out there to them already from that part, which it is what it is. We're going to have to still work around and do some stuff and stuff. We'll see what happens in October when we head up there for the fair board meeting in October. Dallas, I wish I could tell you if it was an Outlaw Sprint cars what it is. I'm not going to let it out of the bag who we're talking to, what we're doing, or anything in that part. Oh, I left out Levi. What did Levi have to say?
Not very many half miles left. Even though I wasn't able to race it, I still have hopes to race it.
All right.
You'll
Levi,
get there.
Love to have you, Levi. Okay, so banquet, we talked about that. We've talked about the Outlaw show coming to 25th. We haven't announced 100%, but we do have one support class for sure that I think will be just as fun and excited as that Outlaw A-Mod class from that part too. So we'll see how that works on that on October the 5th.
And hopefully we'll announce the payout here real soon.
I already know what I want to do there.
I do too.
Okay, so we'll wait. We'll wait for a payout. But you're going to love the payout. So get ready, Ricky.
We're going to have to spend lots of Phil's money that night.
Let's go. That's what it's all about, is having fun this first year. So
that's right.
When we get this multi-year deal, it'll be a whole different ball game going into 2025. We've got a lot of exciting stuff we want to do. But let's get this contract first, and then Nick and Kyler and I will come back at you and tell you everything we got up our sleeves and what our plans are for 2025 and going on forward. But I will tell you that if I only get a 1-year contract with the Fair Board, it won't happen. I'm not going to do it on a 1-year contract again. It can't work. It can't help to move this thing forward faster. And the contract we have is for a multi-year deal. It's not for a 1-year deal moving forward for 2025 from that part. So hopefully I get that contract in their hands by this end of this week. And hopefully we can get some dates ironed out and everything else too. And then it's going to be a couple months, I know, before we can work with these other sanction bodies to make sure we have dates available from that part. So, Nick, DCR update. Kyler's not here tonight, but he is doing some race car stuff. But of course, Friday night is Salina Speedway.
Yep.
Racing up there with Team 3J, of course, and all their IMCA classes will be there Friday, and then we head to Dodge City Saturday. And what's all running at Dodge City?
Big night, Dodge City Saturday. So they're gonna have double features night. Saturday night at Dodge. They're going to run IMCA modifieds, sport mods, hobby stocks, stock cars, cruisers, and sport compacts. Now, the only thing I don't know is this is the makeup from the Dave Garman Memorial.
Yes, these are the double feature nights. Because remember, we ran our feature and somebody else, sprint cars run their features.
Sprint cars run their features.
So he's got to do the rest of those makeup features.
Yeah, so I think everybody but A mods will run a double feature. And then here's the coolest part. Admission is free, courtesy of Kroll, one of their sponsors at Dodge City Raceway. So free general admission this Saturday, the 24th, double features. It's going to kick ass. I'm ready to go.
Okay, so that's going to happen at Dodge City. So I'm reading Lincoln Moore's. Hey, Lincoln, I understand what you're saying. I think I said top 5. But you know what? More going back and thinking about it, you are right. I think instead of top 5, we're gonna announce everybody that came and raced where you're at in your points. Okay. So Lincoln, I appreciate you coming racing with us. I think you are in the top 10 of your class. I'm not sure 100%, but I do agree with you 100% from that part. But get ready because we have talked about a lot of things we're going to do at the banquet and honor you guys for your first year. We're going to have some special stuff for if you raced every race with us. From that part at the banquet. So really hope so to get everybody there at the banquet and enjoy the evening and have some fun and celebrate. And of course, in November, we'll be able to talk a lot more about what's going on in 2025 also too.
And part of the reason we can't really put much out right now is because it changes by the day.
Yeah.
It just changes so fast. So we'll announce something and then tomorrow it might change. So
anyway, Lincoln, open up a new track. I don't know what you mean by that. Open up a new track. We get a long-term contract. I will tell you that we've already been talking to Murphy Tractor. We've been talking to Mike Van Gendren, what we're going to do to the actual dirt on the racetrack.
I think he said if you don't get a long-term contract, would you build a new racetrack?
I didn't read it very good, did I? Man, I tell you, Lincoln, to build a new racetrack today would be crazy to try to build that up too from that part. So, okay, so Curtis Mitchell.
Not sure who's prepping the track, but hats off to them. I've been attending races at the Kansas State Fair track for 35 years and don't ever remember seeing as much side-by-side racing and passing as there has been in this series. Keep up the hard work. Well, Kyler has got a hell of a team that comes out and helps us prep that racetrack. Of course, Mike Van Genderen, he got some time out there and got us started and fixed a lot of the major problems that the racetrack had. But as far as weekly upkeep and prepping it before every race, the team from DCRP is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I tell you, Curtis, a lot of it is it's starting to prep earlier in the week. Working that track and doing it. And, we've learned too, what to do and what not to do. I mean, the night of the Silver Crown race that Friday night, the 3 features we ran, Tommy said, no water, no water, no water. And I didn't like that decision, but Tommy was in control of the race. And I think Tommy was trying to see what the track would do for his Silver Crown cars, which that's the main event. But we did learn what not to do there and how to do it. And I think we had a pretty good track the next Friday after that. So we're getting better each and every week with it. But I will tell you that dirt is wore out. And that's the same thing that Mike said. And that's the same thing that the Murphy and Tractor guy said, that dirt is wore out. We got to do some different things to that thing over the winter and stuff like that too from that part. So Curtis, appreciate you coming and racing. Appreciate the compliments and stuff. I get ridiculed that I say it's the best track in 35 years. I've never said that. I've just said how many people have come up to me and talked to me about that, how good the track is and stuff. And I kept that picture, Nick, that I think you or Jake took with the guy sitting on a couch,
sitting on the berm. Yeah.
From that part. So that is one thing, Curtis, I wanted to do was make sure these racers had a good racetrack and fun and everything else too. We just need to get our car count up a little bit better, but I know some of the racers are seeing what we're going to do, how we're going to run a program, and what's going to happen to that racetrack. And I still that Friday night was the first night that we burned up any tires in a feature. And again, we knew the track was dry. We knew it was going to be that way, but it didn't rubber. It just was dry.
But yeah, and like you said, I mean, Tommy was really trying to push the racetrack hard and see what it would do, and
he needed to.
Yeah, and it did kind of suck, but it really did help him make a decision for what to do for the 100-lap race the next night. So,
yep,
it's kind of a double-edged sword there.
Yep, exactly. So anyway, David Smith said, "What did I miss?" Well, David, let's do a quick recap coming back through here real fast. Having some open discussion on half mile to cutting it down to 3/8. A lot of discussion about that today on a Facebook post, and I appreciate everybody talking about that too. My opinion is it needs to stay half mile. That's what the track's known for. Everything else too, we need to work on some other things on that racetrack. But if we cut it down to 3/8, we won't see them Silver Crown cars there. And there's some other classes that we're talking to that won't come race on that unless it is a half mile. So that's kind of it. David Smith, we're going to have the other thing is the Open Mod Show in October the 5th. We're going to have there. We're almost got locked in the supporting classes we're going to have on October the 5th, but that will come here momentarily, not yet on where we're at there. We first got to get through the September 20th show and have a great show on that part. And the dates, we have went back and forth a couple times with Brian at the Fair Board for dates for 2025. 99% the contract is done. Got two things I want to change in the contract now that I've sat down and thought about it and slept on it. Before we present that to the board, I'm hoping to have that in their hands on Friday so we can get moving forward. And of course, we don't get to meet with the Fair Board this month of September because they're so busy with the fair from that part. So we will talk to the Fair Board in November and October. And hopefully by that time, they've had enough time to read that contract, know where we're at, know what we're doing. It can be an easy sign and easy approval, and we can go racing for many, many years to go forward. So, did I leave anything out, Nick?
I don't think so.
Don't think so. So, everybody, I think we're going to leave it a half mile for 2025 for sure. It's going to be a 2025. Yes. The Silver Crown cars are booked for July 11th and 12th already. That's the dates they've picked and ready to go. And I've been talking to Tommy again, too. Maybe another class from USAC to come race with us later in the year. Don't have that locked in yet, but I can tell you that because that is some things that we could put out there from that part.
Hope what we talked about happens.
Yeah, that's another sanctioned body David's talking about there too.
Yeah.
So anyway, lots of things on the plate, lots of things happening. Just appreciate everybody's support. Appreciate all the stuff on Facebook and everywhere to keep this thing positive, keep things on the right side of this for the Fair Board to see how exciting this is. I was excited there were a couple Fair Board members of the Silver Crown race so they can see what's that track is capable of and what it can do. We're going to keep moving forward as hard as we can to make 2025 better and everything else from that part too. So, and I will tell you, I've had a lot of people come up to me, Nick, and ask about wanting to help. And, we used Kyler's group out of Dodge City a lot, and they are a fantastic crew. Them dirt guys are phenomenal. All the people that come help with the Nikki, and I can't rattle off everybody's name, the Gates and all that kind of stuff. They're fantastic people, but we know we need to move forward with that. So there might be some more openings coming up in 2025 to give a little bit of break because the Dodge City people, I think, got a little tired, and I get it. I understand, but they are great people out there. The Kyler has formed up with his team and stuff like that too to help that. How about an open stock car to support their outlaw race? Okay, Tom. Throw that out there. Throw me, you stock car guys, because I'm not a stock car guy at all to know their rules or whatever. How about throw me some rules of an open stock car class and let's go. I would not have a problem with that at all. So, Tom, if you a couple of you stock car guys want to get together and say, hey, here's the way to open this up to where it's fair. I shouldn't say fair, where it's just fun to go have some fun, because that's what October 5th is about, is everybody that wants to come race can come do that. And Tom, we've talked about running stock cars, but again, if you want to do an open stock car, bring what you brung and put a few rules out there, and you guys want to get together and help us with that, I'd gladly take it, because that is one of the classes we've talked about putting on as a sport class for the October 5th race. So, okay, so got another comment coming in. How about Todd's rule for USMTS? No testing 1 week before. Okay, how about that one?
It's not going to be open a week before. So.
Well, we'll see. So, Lori, we enjoyed it. Be back in September. Good, thank you for that. So we'll we'll have everything ready to go for 2025. I hope by October. Well, we should have everything ready to go here in this week, don't you think?
Yeah.
And there is quite a few changes in the contract. I will tell you that, just so you know, there is a lot of changes we're doing, and everything else too. For what you want to say? How what Kevin has to say there?
Kevin says, during the fair, are you compensated for track preparation costs of demo derby or tractor pull? No.
How do we say that to be politically correct?
They are going to fix it and put it back to how it was before the fair.
I put a clause in our contract for this year for 2024, Dallas. I mean, Kevin, for that particular reason. And I'm having to fudge a little bit and give a little more time than what was in the contract that they signed. Just trying to be a good person and trying to help work things out with that racetrack from that part. But no, they're not compensating anything, but they do have to put it back to original spec. But I'm giving them a less amount of time than what we asked for that they agreed to in the contract. Just so you know, that's how I'm trying to get along and play nice in the sandbox, right, Nick?
Yes. James Furman says, let's get an ARCA race in there. Well, I don't know how much that costs, but the James Furman Videos 400 has a hell of a ring to it.
Furman, are you in on that one? Let us know if you are. We can really make that happen.
I did watch the ARCA at, they were at the Springfield Mile on Saturday, on Saturday. And I did watch that. That was actually a pretty good race. So,
yeah, Dallas Bishop. How about an ASCS National Sprint Car?
Well, if you say you're going to come to that, well, I can think of one
Dallas,
race
I sure hope you've been to some of our races already, Dallas. I hope you have been. So, from that part too. So, anyway, Nick, what else we left out? I think we got everything kind of updated. Everybody's kind of there. We talked about it's going to be a half mile for 2025, everybody. Just so you know, we're not going to change that because of the Silver Crown cars coming and everything else. And the amount of dollars it's going to take. Let's see what kind of a contract length that I put out there. I want to get that approved. That gets approved. That's a whole different ball game.
Yep.
Moving forward, once that contract gets done and ready to go from that part. So, Nick, what else?
I think that's it. We'll be back here next week, and then we'll have to see about the following week because we'll be racing in Boone, Iowa.
Well,
so if we
so I've
don't have to run a heat race at 6 o'clock, then we'll.
Okay, so what I do know, I will tell you that both Saturdays, what's those dates, Nick? It's the 31st and the 7th. We will be live on those of the Underhood Show at 9 o'clock Saturday mornings. Both those Saturdays at Boone from their stage. We already talked about that. Also going to Boone. Been doing the shows there live. So if we're not running a heat race or we're not in the middle of racing on that Wednesday, the 4th, Team 3J is silent and not doing anything, and we've run our heat races ready that day, guess what? We will do a live show from Boone again. But if we're tied up and we're racing and we're close to being timed to racing to getting the car ready to go, we will not have a show on September the 4th. But we will be live there September 31 and September the 7th. So if you have some stuff to talk about Salt City, we know we can talk about it on those 2 dates. Live from Boone, 9 o'clock on those Saturday mornings. Mm-hmm. Pit seating, Aaron, I hate to tell you this, buddy, but I got some exciting stuff. I wish I could tell you what it is on the pits for 2025 that you're going to like and you're going to enjoy. Okay, so just hang tight. I wish I could tell you what it is. I don't have it locked and solid yet, so I don't want to tell everybody what I got what we've done. But we got some pretty exciting stuff on the pit side too. Okay, changed in the contract, ready to go. Big block modified cars. Boy, howdy.
That would be fun. They'd have to come from a long ways away, but that would be cool.
I'd hate to guess what that purse might be too.
Yeah, it's probably not too bad. It's just getting them to come all the way from New York State.
Yeah, I get that too. So anyway, anything else in the chat line? Anything else there we got, Nick? I'm going to chat mine here real quick, make sure we got all the questions answered from that part.
This is Casey Joe. Looking forward to the September show in Hutch. Till then, get yourself over to Dodge this weekend for a great night. Load up the fam and get there. Yes, do it.
Okay, we'll Sean Ward, I want to see it stay a half mile. Well, it's for 2025, Sean, it's going to be a half mile. Rick, half mile. Yeah, it's going to stay there. And Danny McFadden. I missed watching the race in the Hutch in the big half mile. Maybe I'll be able to watch again whenever they start accepting cash. Danny, we've been through this already, buddy. I gotta have to, Danny, if you understand what I go through with this fair board and proving what we're doing and what we have to go through, you'd understand that cash situation. It's not to hurt nobody or penalize anybody. It is so nice to walk into them fair board meetings and when we present those numbers to the fair board to say, this is exactly to the head count of how many people walked in. And here's how much cash went in the bank, and we can prove to them there's no fibbing, no lying, or anything about the head count, car count, pit pass count, nothing that I can prove to them. So there's no if and what or fluff or anything else like that, Danny. And that's the only reason that is there. I hope you understand that. It's not to penalize you that you don't have a credit card or anything else like that. It is simply to prove to that fair board who's coming through the gate, how many's coming through the gate, and there's the money in the bank. So they know exactly that we're telling them the truth and it's an honest number of what's coming through that gate. So everybody knows what the traffic count's like and what's happening each and every race. And we report those numbers after every race to the fair board to tell them exactly what we're doing.
But there's also like an average of about 1,700 people a race coming in and sitting in the grandstands and buying tickets with their credit card. So,
Jason Dove, keep doing what you're doing. Great racing every time we've been there. Jason, thanks for coming. Appreciate that very much. There's a big block series that runs the Arca, Texas area down in the southern LA in Texas. Well, Eric, we'll have to check that out somewhere. Didn't know that either. Outlaw late model. Well,
maybe.
A lot of stuff working on that stuff too. The biggest thing we've got to do, everybody, we got 2 races left for 2024. And both the races will be done before we meet with the fair board. And I want to walk into that fair board of those last 2 races to show them the numbers. And Danny, to show you can show the numbers to the fair board 2 more times what's went through that gate and how many people are there. Not a guess, not an estimation, but an exact count to prove what it is. And if everybody knows what we're doing at the fair board, how we're proving to them what we're doing, that's what that's all about. That is nothing else more than that from that standpoint to help prove to the fair board what happened, where we're at, and what's going on. So I just appreciate everybody coming. I appreciate everybody being there, but we got 2 more races to go, and we need to keep pumping these stands full of people and showing the fair board they voted correctly to race and make them more easy and more ready to vote and say yes to our contract for a multi-year deal. And then you think 2024 has been fun. What do you think 25, 26, 27 is going to be like, Nick?
It's going to kick ass.
There you go.
More late model races. Yes.
We agree with you, Rick. 100%.
We will probably have to run more late model races.
Don't bother me a bit at all. We got, everybody, this was also a learning curve of how to prep the track, which I think we've got that dial in. Kyler and his crew has done a fantastic job. Jason and, God, I'm drawing a blank on those guys' names. Jesse and the other guy, one more. They're fantastic. They're great to work with. They understand what's going on with that racetrack from that part. So just we've learned a lot this first year. We've made some mistakes like everybody does. We've admitted to our mistakes. We corrected our mistakes. We've been fun with this. So
Chad,
here we go. Chad, there it is. Chad. Thank you, Casey Joe. I knew somebody'd pop in there and help me out. I could draw a blank on Chad. Chad's the one I shouldn't have forgot.
I know.
Sorry, Chad. Wasn't on purpose, buddy. I promise. Too many things in my head going on here too. So, any chance of available for a big stock car? Hey, we're talking. It's in the works. How's that sound? So, Chad is Jesse's dad. Okay, didn't know that. Yeah, I did know that. So, anyway, everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. It's going to be an exciting time. Let's keep filling the stands. Again, September 20th is our next race. October the 5th. Right now, it's all we've got is the open or mod race. We have the other supporting classes very close. Stock cars, if you want to run, let's throw some rules out there. We'll throw it out and we'll run some stock cars too. How about that? Yeah. So everybody get ready, but let's get this track full of people on September the 20th, October the 5th. So when Nick and I walk into that fair board meeting in October, they're ready to sign that contract and keep things moving forward as much as we can for 2025 and beyond all those years. So everybody, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Keep everything positive on the Facebook. Keep everything positive moving forward. If you got something you don't like, call Nick right here at the store. We'll talk to you about it anytime, or come by the store. We'd love to hear you. I think we talk to somebody at least every day in here about Salt City Racing and what's going on there too.
Okay, Lincoln, crying about the no cash deal. Don't use that as an excuse to say you don't go.
Exactly. It's just Thank you, Lincoln. That's all I got to say. Thank you very much. So everybody, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Keep the fair board's right decision for racing. Let's keep these fairgrounds full at September 20th. Let's keep it full going through on October the 5th with all the late model, open mod show we're going to have. Keep the comments coming. Keep the questions coming, everybody. This is going to be fun. I promise you it's going to be fun. Don't let that leave you out. And out in the cold, come see us on September the 20th, and let's go have some fun, go racing. And if we can tune in, of course, next Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, we'll be live with the Under the Hood show. Next Wednesday, we'll be back live next Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll be here. But
it's going to be we're at Boone on the Wednesday, on September the 4th, where we can't be live or not, but we will be live both Saturdays at Boone at 9 o'clock. So we'll be able to get that going too. So Maddie, can't wait.
Some live snippets from Boone.
Could do that too. Who knows where we'll do the show from each time?
Yeah, who knows?
So maybe we can just do it from the race trailer. Man, that'd be all right too.
That'd be okay.
All right, everybody. Have a great evening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Let's go racing.